Hello guys, and welcome to part four of creative writing in a niche or young market. I hope you guys have had a great week. Mine has been good. Very demanding in terms of writing and creating. And my sister and I just laugh. Like sometimes my mind is so full. I don't when I'm writing WhatsApp messages and stuff to the family or to anybody. I don't make sense. Like I only make sense when I'm writing my creative stuff and when I'm talking. But when I'm writing messages, I don't make sense. I think by that point my head is so tired. I don't make sense. I write in like incomplete sentences, right? And this has become like a family joke. I don't Yeah, I'm trying to tell somebody, I'm trying to say, hey, are you going to Nairobi next week? Can I send you with something? Now that's how a normal person would say, are you going to Nairobi next week? Can I send you with something? I'd say something like, Nairobi next, need something there. Can you take? It's like, it makes no sense whatsoever. And we've been laughing about this with my family, my sister and my sister-in-law particularly, because we have we are kind of like the business behind the Visa series. For those who haven't seen, I'm just going to show you one of the books. This is book 2. Let me remove my post-it there. I don't know what that was. So this is book 2 of the Visa series. It's called D for Darian book 2. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so we are my sister and my sister-in-law helping me. They're like the back office of this, just making sure that I don't go crazy from doing everything myself. And I still kind of feel crazy most of the time, hence my incoherent messages that I send to people that I think make sense, but they don't really make sense. So I'm going to use that as a segue into our topic for part 4 of creative writing in a niche market, which is finding your characters. So the most important thing about your character is your character has to make sense. And not just in your head and to you, but to your audience. Because if you're like me, I am somebody who, I always say, I follow character. I will follow character. And I think I've said this in my other lessons. I follow character in anything. If it's a book, a TV series, I follow character. Now, I am very patient. If I like the character, I will stay with you till the very end, even after I'm like, oh my God, you lost the plot 6 episodes ago, or you lost the plot 6 chapters ago. But because I am engaged with your character, I stay. I am a character person. So I write character because that's what draws me to a book. One of my favorite things to do, again, is explore these characters and bring them to life and make friends with them. I become friends with them. I wanted Darian Mitchell in my life. Darian Mitchell is the other main character of the Visa series. Him and Rain Handa, those are the love interest in the Visa series. And I am friends with these people. So characters are so important because characters are who make your particular story stand out from everything else in that genre. So today let me break it down, how I create my characters, and let me try and break it down of how you can create engaging characters in your stories. So the first thing in creating a character, again, they say write what you know, and that was part of our lesson, is write what you know and write what you love and write what you believe in and write what you want to see, right? Or what you want to read or what you want to watch. Write that. And that is true for your story. It is equally true for your characters. I will never create a character who I do not like, whether they are good or evil, right? Protagonist or antagonist. The protagonist is your main character, the one who's driving your story. The antagonist is usually the person who's stopping the main character from getting to where they need to be, whether that is physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, anything that is standing in the way of your character going from their point A to point B is your antagonist. Now, antagonist is usually another person, but antagonist can also be situations. If it's a situational show, your antagonist can be a situation. Your antagonist can be the world that they're in. So the antagonist is traditionally another person or another being, sentient being. But I've seen some very cleverly done pieces, whether it's books or shows, where the antagonist is a character, yes, but it's not a physical. I mean, it's not a being, a sentient being, but sometimes a place or an inanimate character. Like Nairobi could be an antagonist for your protagonist. If you think of like the life of Pi, is it the life of P, the movie, or Tom Hanks, in Castaway, they have antagonists which are not other people, right? Because they're dealing with it's like a one person character book story, right? So their antagonist is not a person. Their antagonist is a situation. Their antagonist is where the thing that they find themselves in that they need to get out of. So, but we're talking today about people antagonists. So, I mean, we're going to specify on that, on building characters. And I'm going to ask you to give me 1 minute. I have to remove this. Yeah, okay. You can see I'm wearing a very faded shirt. You're seeing? It's a faded shirt because sometimes writing is like that. I'm just going to show you. It's one of my best shirts. It's January 1978. And it's I got that when I turned 40. My sister got that for me, and it's pretty much me saying how wonderful I am after 40 years of life. Anyway, side story. You see, yeah, I told you, sometimes you just have to look rugged. To me and my faded shirt, I have refused to give it up. But, right, so where were we? Yes, so we were talking about writing characters that you love. Antagonist, protagonist. So I'm going to start with the protagonist. Obviously, that's usually the main character in your story, is your protagonist. How do I pick mine? How did I pick Darian? So it's usually very easy for me to pick my female characters, I think, because I borrow largely from my own life. For that, sometimes it's the person that I am. Sometimes it's the person that I wish I was. Sometimes it's who I was once upon a time. A lot of the time, I merge them together. So a lot of people will find creating your main character is simple because most of us will draw the main character from who we are or from the people closest around us, right? So my main characters so far have been in the Visa series. My main character, the person driving the story, is Rain Hander. And so she was not a difficult person for me to create at all because I borrowed a lot from my life. I borrowed a lot from people who are close to me and made this character and put this character together of Rain. So I find the more challenging characters are usually the co-protagonist in a story. If you have like two main characters, the co-protagonist in a story is challenging to create that because you really have to go outside of yourself to put that person together. So how did I come up with the co-character, which is Darian? And I'm using him because I had to really craft him. So when I wrote Darian, I wanted to write the kind of man who I'm attracted to, because my character is attracted to him and I want my audience to be attracted to him. So the best way for me to do that is to write the kind of person that I'm attracted to. So Darian is, I don't want to call him alpha male, though he's usually in the traditional way. If you were to post the book on Amazon, again, you would say alpha male, so that readers know that we're talking about, the strong male character that, takes no crap. He's usually a little bit of an asshole. He does what he needs to do. He's very he can be aggressive. He will knock down anything that comes in his way. He's a leader. He will be followed. People will naturally follow and gravitate towards this person. They're superly successful. Now I'm talking about the typical character of alpha male. When you see alpha male, like on Amazon, telling you the kind of male character and the kind of story it is, these are the kind of characters that they are talking about. So I like alpha male stuff. I read a lot of alpha male romances, And I generally will gravitate towards alpha males, but I do not want to write about a typical alpha male because also I find sometimes it's a bit they're a bit narrowly developed, and sometimes it's a bit annoying to to read them because they have to be so in the creating of this person. Yeah, I'm a writer without words. In the creating of this character, I feel some layers are left out in a lot of these stories, because they want to follow a specific narrow path which the alpha male fits into. So I discovered as I was creating my characters, the men I write about are not typical alpha males. They're more rogue males. In other words, they're strong men. They are very opinionated, and a lot of the other characteristics. They can be assholes if you come up to they will be an asshole to you if you try and challenge them in their face. They can be assholes, but the difference with the way I choose to craft my alpha male and why I call him instead a rogue male is the men I create have no need for the world to follow them. A typical alpha male will naturally want people to follow him. That's where they thrive. So they will rise and kind of be worshipped. Now, my rogue males are men who have absolutely no problem saying, oh, you guys are going over there, I'm going to go over here. I'm taking myself and my people that way. So I write rogue males, and rogue males are men who are strong but have absolutely no problem existing just outside the main modalities of life. So they're always a bit left-wing, a bit other, and they don't quite fall in a tight space. So Darian is a rogue male. Like, yes, you'd look at him and think he's alpha, but he'd really just rather be doing his own thing and being left alone as he does his own thing. And so I layered him that way. I layered him that way deliberately because I personally do not like people I'm not attracted to males who desire to be adored, which is kind of where a lot of the alpha male comes from. The typical alpha male comes from. So I wanted to layer it so that I'm not talking about a male that wants to be adored. I'm talking about more Lord of the Rings. What's his name again? The main character, the reluctant hero male. Yeah, I think that is the thing for me. It's the reluctant hero male, which he was. The king, the guy, Aragorn. Yes. Who is a prince and he's a king, but then he's like, just leave me alone. I just want to sit here and drink my beer and go and kill animals somewhere. I don't want to come and save the world. Leave me alone. But he's a hero, and when he does rise, the world follows. So I like that kind of person. I'm drawn to that kind of person just because of somebody once described it as the fire and steel in their eyes. So those are the kind of male characters that I create. The kind of person who you look at and see one thing, but then there is just so much more that's going on in their heads. So I layer my characters. I like layered characters. On the one hand, I can be very charming and suave, but then you find me somewhere else and I am a scary mofo. You find me somewhere else and I love deeply, and you find me somewhere else and I can also just delete you deeply. The same depth that I loved you. So I like my characters layered, and I think that is one of the most important things I would say in creating your character. Not to create characters that I know exactly what this person is going to do from the beginning to the end. If that is your character, then I might as well just pick up something else and read something else, because people come in to be surprised and moved and drawn and taken on this journey with your characters, because a lot of us lead very sedentary lives, right? We don't we will never stand on top of a mountain with a sword and say, die. or you know what I'm saying, or and that's like Lord of the Rings. We will never be running around trying to save the world from an evil eye, or even, I don't know, feel like that in the pits of a stomach, I will just die if I don't love this person, if I don't have them right now, you know. And yeah, we feel love and we feel all these things, but there is a way that a deep character that you're looking at will hike and crank up the volume, that you're like, oh my God, you know. You're reading a book. I don't know if, I'm sure everybody who reads does this, and you put it down for a minute and you just gaze at the air because you're thinking, wow, you know, it's touched you somewhere. So you want, we follow these characters like Darian, which I don't want to give spoilers, so I can't really give you examples, but the things that he goes through and his history, and a lot of us will never go through that, you know, but because you build a character who can realistically go through the things that most of us won't, we follow. And I think that's what it is. And I'm going to say that again. If you build a character that can realistically go through things that most of us won't, we follow. Because a lot of us, I feel, and this is not a good thing, a lot of us live far below the bar of our potential. Okay, our potential is usually there, like there, and a lot of us live here, and sometimes we raise ourselves and we live there. But, and we all have the capability, by the way, to close this and, you know, even go through it. We all have this capability, but most of us, just because I think of how we are cultured and how our society is cultured and everything, most of us are here. So when you build a character that is somewhere here, you know, because you can't set your character over there, you've seen where to go. So when you build your character that is somewhere here, or even a character that starts here and grows up to here, and we can see eventually they will do this, we follow. And we follow because intrinsically we want that for ourselves as human beings. So yeah, I just went very philosophical there, but part of building a character is that being philosophical about it. It's unwrapping and unpacking this person, and it takes time. And I think that's why so many people don't do it. I see a lot of shows, I'm gonna go a bit Kenyanese right now. I see a lot of shows, without taking anything away from the great creators we have in this country, where it is very obvious that these characters have not been thought through. They've just been, you know, bundled together with, ooh, I know, let's write about a girl. I'm gonna use Rain. I'm gonna use an example from my own book. Let's write about a girl, Rain, who doesn't get her visa, and then she falls in love with a guy who denies it. Great premise. However, if I do not layer Rain, she could be anybody. And if she could be anybody, then why am I writing? Why am I reading about her? I am anybody. Why am I reading about her? Let me go live my own life. Let me go to the bar and drink. You know, let me go hang out with my friends, because my life is damn more interesting than this person's that I'm reading. So if Rain starts here and she's like, I just need to get a visa to go meet my fiance and get married. And by the time we're finishing Rain, she's like, I just need to get a visa to go and get married and, you know, go live in the UK. And you come to book 2 and she's like, I just need a visa. You get where I'm going? So your characters have to have massive layers of, why does she want to get this visa to go and get married to Pio, who is her fiance in the UK? Why is it important to her? What is her history with him? What is her own history? What are the things she's afraid of? Now, these are some of the things. Like I'm gonna, let me just take that from the top again and quickly as we wrap it up, part 1 of part 4. Yeah, because I see like we're running out of time. I mean, the time, I don't want to do too long a clip. So the things to ask yourself when you're creating your character, the things that make your characters layered is, number 1 is, what does she want? And we'll come back into wants and needs in more in-depth in the next section now. What does she want? You know, why does she want to go? Why? What does she want? Why? Why does she want to go? You know, who does she want to do this with? Where is her world right now? What is the realm of her world right now? and what is her world about. So when you start, like, those are the simplest building blocks, the why, the who, the what, the where, the when is this happening. The simple building blocks, it really helps when you use those. I know it's in like an old trick, but it really helps when you use those. And then now you go deeper into it, like, why did she love Theo? Even before we get to Darian, like, who she meets, why did she love Theo in the first place? What was it about Theo that she loved? What is their world like when they were growing up? How did it influence who she is? Why is she the kind of character that she is? Why is she opinionated? Why is she saving herself for marriage? Why is she? You're telling us that this is who this woman is, and it's great. But as a writer, you need to always know the why, and you need to always know where are they coming from. You need to always know what are they about. You need to always know when did they become this person that we are now meeting. You need to always know that. And the thing is, once you have the backstory, the back matter, the infrastructure of your character, and you know them, then your character writes themselves. They really do. Your character will write themselves. And your job then is not to create things to throw at this character. Your job is to guide them. It's the same way you bring up a child. You have given birth to this baby, and this baby has honored you as their parent. And make no mistake about it, our kids honor us. They honor us by coming into this world through us. They honor us. And then it is our job to guide them, not to make them something. You guide them with everything that you know from your own life and your own history and the world you live in, and who the character of this child is, who they are. You guide them. And when we create characters in our books, in our TV shows, it's the same premise. We are guides. Once this character has come alive and shown you who they are, because you've taken the time to know them, we become guides to guide them into the story that they are honoring us to tell for them.